But I want to start off about this Chelsea deal for João Pedro, because what I don't understand is how Chelsea can go from Saturday lunchtime not being in for João Pedro to Sunday evening signing him for the same price we're trying to negotiate for 5 weeks with Bryan Mbeumo and Brentford. It's bloody embarrassing. I would just say to the start, whoever's going to try and make this positive and say, we've got to wait till July the 1st. We've got to wait till July the 1st. We've got to wait till July the 1st. No one else is waiting till July the 1st, are they? Everybody else is doing 3 or 4 deals before July the 1st. It's incredibly incompetent. And I just want to say at the start, I'm not going to lose it. I'm not going to lose it. We can still rescue this transfer window. But answer me this question. If you're relaxed and you're calm, maybe someone from Man United's watching. Maybe some of you United fans are calm and relaxed. Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal and Chelsea finished top 4 last year, and Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal and Man City are the top 4 clubs in the transfer window at the moment. There's a correlation there. There's a big correlation there. But my question is, what was the plan for Man United? Like, all I want to know is, what was the plan? Because all we heard from Barada was, on the Asia tour, we're relaxed. We've got a plan. We've been planning this summer transfer window for a long time. What the fuck were you planning? I would love to know what you've been planning for the last 3 months, because this, mate, is absolutely incredible. If you were planning to sign Bryan Mbeumo for 3 months, I would have thought that part of that planning would have been to speak to fucking Brentford and start figuring out what they want. If you were planning this summer transfer window for 3 months, I would have thought you might have an idea of who the striker is you're going to go for. If you were planning this transfer window for the last 3 months, I would have thought you'd have figured out that Onana might not want to go and you can't buy a goalkeeper. I call bullshit. That's what I call. I call absolute bullshit from the very head of this football club again. Because you've got to listen to what they've actually said. And this is what's worrying me tonight. What they actually said is, we've been planning this summer transfer window for ages. We've got a plan and we're going to follow it through. Have you bollocks got a plan? This is terrible. This is not a plan. You sat there 5 weeks later after starting talks with Brentford and you still can't agree a fee. 5 weeks later. Chelsea bought bloody Pedro in 5 hours. 5 weeks, we're still negotiating. What are you negotiating about as well? Bryan Mbeumo's a better player than João Pedro. They're paying the same bloody price. Hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it. What are you actually negotiating? Who are you fighting against? What is it you're trying to prove? Well, we don't think Bryan Mbeumo's actually worth 60 million. Look at the bloody market, you bunch of prats. Bournemouth wants 70 million for Semenyo. You paid 62 million for Cunha. João Pedro's going to Chelsea for 55 million. Of course his bloody price is 60 million. What world are you... I bloody hope you're not using Transfer Market, because anyone with a brain knows that Transfer Market is 50% lower than the reality. You can't be using Transfer Market for the bloody value of Bryan Mbeumo. In fact, I'm going to go on there now. I guarantee you this is what they're doing. Bryan Mbeumo. Here we go. No, it's not here we go. It's not here we go. Don't clip me up on that. That people will go mad. It's not Mbeumo. Here we go. What I'm saying is, what have they got his value on Transfer Market? Market value details. Yeah, they've got him valued on Transfer Market at £45 million. This is what United do. They go on transfer market. Transfer market has always been shit for Premier League transfer fees. Predictions. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, look, yeah, we've got a lot to get into on the show tonight, but we're starting off with that because I think it's as much as we can, and we always turn it into banter on here because I think you've got to laugh if you don't want to cry. It's embarrassing, though, isn't it? I'd love somebody to come on in the comments and try and explain to me what the plan was and how you are justifying this situation. Because to be negotiating on Brian Mbeumo for 5 weeks and still not have it done when Chelsea can do a deal in 24 hours is embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. It's incompetent. And you know what? They can put a dress on it. They can put perfume on it. They can put lipstick on it. They can put a pair of shoes on it. They can put a wig on it. They can do whatever they want. But you are shit at transfers, Manchester United. You are absolutely shit. You've been shit for a decade and you are still shit. And you can pretend, you can pontificate to us all you like. You can stand up on your high horse and say, we're not, we know best. But the problem is, you don't run a dictatorship. You operate in a world where there's plenty of other teams and most of them operate way better than you and they expose you every time Chelsea does a deal like that or Liverpool do a deal like that, or, you know, not just the top four. There'll be other clubs doing better deals. For whatever United want to put out there about being relaxed and calm, the fact is you're terrible at transfer negotiations. Absolutely terrible. And I think Mbeumo will sign. And we shouldn't walk away from that. I think we might walk away from the Ocares deal based on the updates this afternoon. We won't walk away from the Mbeumo deal. But, again, I remember saying this about Harry Maguire. We negotiated for 7 weeks on Maguire and still broke the British transfer record for a British centre-back and paid £80 million. We've negotiated all this time with Brentford and we're going to pay exactly what they wanted on day one on probably something like day 50. And that can never be okay. That can never be okay. Scott Treacher says, chill out. Lots going on behind the scenes. That's the problem, mate. What's the plan? Scott, you know, we've had this debate a couple of times in the last few days now. What's the plan? Can you tell me, Scott, what the plan was that Barada was talking about 2 months ago when he said we've been planning this summer transfer window for months? What plan was it? Because, you know, planning, it's not a bloody post-it note with let's sign Mbeumo. Planning a transfer window. You know why Frimpong went to Liverpool so quick? Do you know why Wirtz went to Liverpool quite quick? Do you know why Man City got Cherky quite quick? You know why they got Rangers quite quick and Altnori quite quick? Because they didn't turn up in June and say, do you fancy doing a deal? These deals started probably maybe in February, maybe in March, maybe in April. Maybe May, but not in bloody June. And United clearly haven't been in contact with Brentford before June. So how can Barada sit there and say, we've been planning this transfer window for months? Mate, planning a Premier League high-level transfer window is not sitting in a room in March with a big list and going, 5 from that 30 will do. It's actually speaking to the player and the club and starting negotiating before fucking June. And we haven't done that. It's very obvious who's the striker. The goalkeeper's nowhere to be bloody seen. We're still negotiating with Brentford. That's all I'm saying. We can still have a good transfer window. I don't think we'll get a very good pre-season, but we can still have a good summer transfer window. But I'm calling out the bullshit. Our CEO sat there and said we've been planning this summer transfer window for months. Where's the evidence of that? If we've been planning this for months, why are we sat there negotiating with clubs? Why are we sat here waiting to see if a player's going to go somewhere else? We haven't planned this very well, have we? That's my point. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.